Hello children, I, Anita Vikas Kadam from HA High School, Pimpri, managed by Deccan Education Society, welcome you all for study time. Today we'll see English lesson 2.3, connecting the dots. Are you ready? Oh, about your childhood games? But this is an important way of life to connect dots. And I'm sure you got this picture. Yes, the famous brand called Apple. So in connecting the dots today, we'll see about Steve Jobs. He was an American entrepreneur, a businessman, a business magnate, a famous personality, inventor and industrial designer, the chairman, chief executive officer, and co-founder of Apple Incorporated. He is widely recognized as one of the pioneers of the microcomputer revolution of the 1970s and 1980s. Isn't it exciting? So here Steve Jobs talks about his life, and here he is saying that he has 3 stories to talk. You might wonder, such a huge personality, and he has only 3 stories from his life to say. Let's see what they are. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months. Now, this speech is extracted from the speech he gave at Reed's College, graduate honor, and he spoke this, and from lesson is been taken. Now he is saying that when he was studying at Reed's College, he dropped out, discontinued after 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months before I really quit. So before he actually left, after dropping out from the course that he was doing, he was a drop-in. He was a visitor. He was sharing the space with other people, other students of that college. Looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And no, you might be thinking he is dropping out of the studies and he is saying that that was the best decision. Now let's see how it went out. I would stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked interesting. So when within 6 months, whatever he was doing, he discontinued with that. Okay, so that was why he discontinued. That was not of his interest. And then there might be some interest, no? Visiting those classes of interest to him. I didn't have a dormitory, place to stay, since he was not studying. So I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for 5-cent deposits to buy food with. So here he was without his studies, without his proper regular studies. He didn't have place to stay. So he shared the room with his friends and he slept on the floors. He didn't have money to buy food for himself and he would return the Coke bottles. When he returned those bottles, the empty bottles in the shop, he would get 5 cents. paise. It's just like 5 paise. I'm sure you must have not seen 5 paise, but we know 100 paise makes 1 rupee. In that same manner, that meager amount he is to get, and from that amount he is to buy food for himself. And I would walk 7 miles every Sunday night to get one good meal a week. And he was left with no hostel, no food, and he had to buy food, and he was searching for free food. So he used to get this kind of free food, which was 7 miles away, and that miles he has to walk because no money to travel to. Why he has to walk and go there? Because he got free meal at the Hare Krishna temple, and he used to relish those food. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Okay, if he was in that kind of situation where he was not studying, where he was not leading a comfortable life, then what was he doing actually? He was following his curiosity, his intuition, what was being, his inner mind was saying something, and he was just listening and following that. Here is one example. Reed College offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Calligraphy, the art of beautifying writings, handwritings. And that college was offering that kind of course, and he started taking it. Because I had to take a calligraphy class, I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces. These are the ways of making the handwriting look beautiful. About what makes great typography, first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it to all into the Macintosh computer. So after 10 years, when they were in the process, see, this is that first Macintosh computer. They were in the process of making it. His knowledge of calligraphy helped him. Had never dropped in on that course in college, the Mac could have never had multiple typefaces, or for that matter, even proportionally spaced fonts. See, when we type something on the computer, there is different types of typography that we can choose. Are you understanding that the Roman, New Roman, then many different types, and whichever looks or whichever is appealing to us, we choose that. Now, where did he learn all these different types of typography? He learned in calligraphy when he was in Reed's College, and just out of interest, he went and learned that. So what is he doing? He is connecting. He connecting those knowledge after 10 years was useful to him while preparing Mac. And since Windows just copied Mac, it's likely no personal computer would have them. So imagine if Steve Jobs had not learned about calligraphy, and the whole lot of computers would have to use only the simple way, printing design, no design on the typography. So all the alphabets would be the same. But now we can understand according to our taste and interest, we choose the typography. So now every computer has it, and that all goes on. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward. So when he decided, when he was connecting, he did not connect that today I will learn this, tomorrow I will use this, and day after tomorrow the world will use it. So forward looking, you cannot connect the dots. Then where do we have to look? We have to look back to connect the dots. When I was in college, but it was very clear looking backwards 10 years later. You can't connect the dots looking forward. What the dots will somehow connect in your future. So nothing goes, wayward. Whatever is there, it's something or the other gets connected. But we cannot see right this minute. This lesson about Steve Jobs. I'm teaching to you. But we never know where we are going to connect this. Rather anything in future. When you cross that stage and when you look back, you can see those dots connected. You have to trust in something. Then how do you just go about? Because you're trusting your inner self, the voice that is coming from inside you. That is your gut, your destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. These children, had he been thinking that I'm a failure, I'm a dropout, I've discontinued my studies, I'm good for nothing, he wouldn't have been the way successful the way he has. Because he never believed whatever from outside. He believed all the things which spoke to him from inside, his inner conscious. And that's how he was successful. My second story is about love and loss. I found what I loved to do early in life was, and I started Apple when I was 20. Yes, children, you heard me right, 20. You are just few years away from 20. And you might wonder, at 20, they started building these computers. Yes, because they were very focused. In 10 years, Apple had grown from just two of us. So how did they start? They did not say that a big factory was set up and come, let's produce it. It was only two people to begin with. And they started it in a garage. And that turned to $2 billion company. And then I got fired. Fired, removed from job. Means he was the co-founder, but still at a particular time, he was fired, he was removed, he was discontinued. And means severe shock, grief, pain. Can you imagine? He is the part of it. And he had to go through such, now another setback in his life. But did he give up on it? No. But something slowly began to dawn on me, began to dawn, to become clear. After some time, things started becoming very clear to him, because he was not in depression, because he was still not pondering on his past events. He did not say that, why did this happen? Why only with me? He was not talking on those things, but he started seeing life in a different angle. He started seeing life in a fresh start, and he understood one thing, that I still loved what I did. Because nobody had sent him to that particular job. He was not forced to go and work there. He was working because he was loving what he was doing. And that love just cannot stop, or that just cannot go away from him. So he decided to start over. So if he can start one, why cannot he start another by himself? The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. See, he's seeing the other side of that big loss. He is seeing that how it is going to help him. when he had become the co-founder and such a big company of $2 billion company, and now he has become nothing. He's again starting from zero. So now he is not having any heaviness. Now he is not the CEO of that company. And now he is just a beginner. So beginner doesn't have a lot of baggage to. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. Happy when you're light, and then the creativity is at the best. During the next 5 years, I started a company. Next, another company named Pixar. So after Apple, he started Pixar and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. So that's the story of love and loss. He lost Apple, but his love for the company, his love for making computers, and then there he was with another company called. He also got the love of his life. He married the woman whom he loved, whom he met in those times. Pixar is now the world's most successful animation studio. I'm sure you all have heard about it. Apple bought next. So when Pixar came up, Apple bought it. So again, he was a part of it. I returned to Apple, and that we developed at Next is part of Apple's current renaissance. Removed from the job, he was still he would be happy. Have discovered about Pixar. In that process, he have given the revival, that is renaissance, birth to Apple. After a certain time, it got stagnated, no? So this knowledge, had he not gone out, he wouldn't have come up with something new. So whatever happens, happens for good. For reviving the Apple again. And Lauren and I have a family together. So, though it was a setback, but that helped him, and he was re-established again, and he was happy as a family man. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. What does that mean, children? It hits you hard. It pains. So that thing has happened with once again. Don't lose faith. He is again saying even if life with a brick, when something very, untoward is happening with you, but still don't lose faith. That is not end of it. The only do great work is to love what you do. So if you want that, I want to do something great, you cannot with only thinking that great work, or things like that. If you automatically becomes great, you don't even have to think like that. Because when you love what you do, you give your best, and resting is magic. Haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. So he's saying just find out love to do. Maybe something or the other. But you might have some interest. You might like doing something. Start doing it. If you have not yet found it, don't found, so let me settle with this. No, do that. Keep exploring. Keep understanding yourself. Keep searching what gives you happiness. What is that you would love to do throughout your life? Keep understanding yourself. You find it. A wonderful way of saying it, students. And let's see the third story. My third story is about death. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order. Get my affairs in order means what? That was his last time. So he has to settle all his things, which is doctor's code for prepare to die. He's saying that when doctor says go and settle your affairs, that means prepare yourself for death. I lived with that diagnosis all day. Later that evening, I had a biopsy. Biopsy, they take the cell to check what is it, which kind of cancer and all that. It turned out to be a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that is curable with surgery. I had the surgery and I'm fine now. So no matter what happens to you, but if you give up from inside, everything becomes all right from outside. That is the beautiful way that he has explained about his life. This was the closest I have been to facing it. And I hope it's the closest I get for a new more decades. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you. He has gone through all the pain. He has been near to death. He is giving an advice. He's saying, your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. That means we live as if we are going to live forever. And he's saying one beautiful way that don't live someone else's life. If somebody is instructing you, you do this, you do that, you would be great in this. And if you are living that kind of a life, you are living someone else's life. When will you live your life the way you wanted, the way you like it? What are your ambitions? So he's saying, don't be trapped by dogma. That is the term. Okay, so don't go by that set belief. You explore. It is living with the results of other people's thinking. Some people have lived and they have made some rules. This. If you do this. But if you are following that, you don't live. Because you are already walking on the footsteps of somebody. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out on your own inner voice. Now there is two voices going on. One which is hearing from outside all the time. That is somebody else's noise. Okay, the voice that is coming from others, calling it as noise. Because it may be useful. But if you are listening to your inner voice, that will be useful to you. And most important, have the your heart and intuition. So listen to what your heart says. Listen to the intuition that you're feeling from inside. That you need to do this. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. So who knows? Not anybody from outside. Nobody at all, but your inner self, your heart, your intuition knows what you can become. And therefore, they keep telling you. And then, when I was young, there was an amazing publication called The Whole Catalog, kind of a book. They put a photograph of an early morning country road. A village set up a road and beneath it were the words, stay hungry, stay. So on the cover of this book, okay, a beautiful sentence was written, hungry, stay foolish. It might sound very funny, but it has a lot of meaning into it. It was their farewell message as they signed off. So that came on the cover of the book, which was the last edition. They were about to close that kind of editions, and that was the last. And they just gave one message: stay hungry, stay foolish. Okay, I have always wished that for myself. He's saying I'm following that throughout the life. What? He is believing in stay hungry, stay foolish. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, see, as I told you, the speech he is giving to the students who on their graduation ceremony, and he's telling that now you are going to start everything new. And one beautiful message that he wants to give is that stay hungry, stay foolish. What does this mean, children? Stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry means you should never feel that you know everything. If you are hungry for something, then you will search for it. Then you have to learn more. If you feel that I know everything, not go and learn. Nobody knows everything. So stay hungry. Saying stay foolish. Don't think that I'm the smartest one. Start thinking that I don't know anything. And in the process, you learn a lot. Isn't it a wonderful message given? Not only for the Reeds College graduation, children, take this as a message to you. Always stay hungry and stay foolish and be ready, imbibe more knowledge to get more out of it, out of this world, and share it with everyone. He has given 20 amazing life lessons. I'm sure you will read them and reread them and pick it up into you and make it a life statement for yourself. I'm sure you enjoyed this lesson here. Children, search for the video, that message that he has given in this lesson. A video is there on YouTube about inspirational speech by Steve Jobs, and you will get this whole thing. And I'm sure you enjoyed today's lesson, and the message goes without saying, stay hungry, stay foolish. Goodbye, children.